When we think about what it takes to succeed, we're always told to be the smartest person in the room, right? But what if the real secret weapon, the thing that truly sets people apart, has nothing to do with IQ? Well, today, we're diving into the incredible power of emotional intelligence. For, decades, the formula for success seemed so simple. You get a high IQ, you add some solid technical skills, and boom, you're set. But that formula, it's broken. It's missing a key variable. And it turns out, it might just be the most human one of all. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack what emotional intelligence, or EI, even is. Then we'll see its real-world impact at work and in leadership. We'll explore how it builds smarter teams. And finally, we'll reveal why it might just be the single best predictor of your entire career. Okay, let's start at the beginning. We need to get a handle on this game-changing idea that really flipped our whole understanding of success on its head. Now, the idea of emotional intelligence, it's not some new age fluff. It has serious scientific roots. It was formally introduced by two researchers, Salovey and Meyer, way back in 1990. But it absolutely exploded into the mainstream 5 years later with Daniel Goleman's huge bestseller. And by 2010, massive research reviews had pretty much confirmed what everyone suspected. EI is a powerful predictor of how well we actually do our jobs. So what are we really talking about here? Let's break it down. Think of it in two parts. First, it's about looking inward. Being able to spot, understand, and manage your own emotions. Then it's about looking outward, recognizing, understanding, and influencing the emotions of other people. And the real magic is using all that emotional data to make smarter decisions and take effective action. Goleman breaks this down into 5 core skills that build on each other. It all kicks off with self-awareness, literally just knowing what you're feeling and why. Once you know that, you can move to self-regulation, which is about managing those feelings instead of letting them manage you. That self-control then fuels your internal motivation. And once you've got a handle on yourself, you can start developing empathy to really understand what others are feeling. That empathy is the bedrock for strong social skills. You put them all together, and that's the whole shebang. That's emotional intelligence. All right, so we've got the theory down. Now for the fun part. Let's see how all of this actually translates into real, tangible results in the workplace. And this is where it gets really fascinating. A huge 2010 meta-analysis confirmed that EI isn't just some nice-to-have soft skill. It actually predicts how well you'll perform at your job, even after you account for things like your IQ and your personality. It has this unique independent power, especially in jobs where you have to work with other people. And get this, here's one of EI's most incredible functions. It can actually compensate if your raw cognitive intelligence, your IQ, isn't off the charts. Seriously. Research shows that in complex jobs, high EI helps people navigate challenges and find creative solutions, even if they aren't technically the smartest person in the room. It's like a secret advantage. Well, this brings us right to leadership, doesn't it? Because this is where the impact of emotional intelligence becomes crystal clear. This is often the dividing line between a boss who's just fine and one who's truly great. Just look at this number for a second. 90%. What do you think that is? Well, it's the percentage of the difference between an average leader and a star performer that comes down to one single thing: emotional intelligence. 90%. And here's why that matters so much. Leaders with high EI aren't just more liked, they are fundamentally more effective. Their teams are happier and more engaged, they build real trust, they tend to make better, more ethical decisions. And you know what? When a crisis hits, they are the ones you want at the helm, steering the ship. But hey, it's not all about the person at the top. The emotional climate of an entire team has a massive, massive impact on its success and on the well-being of every single person on it. Yeah, research shows that entire teams can have a kind of collective emotional intelligence. It's the group's shared ability to manage its emotions and work together in a constructive way. And this group EI is often the make or break factor between a team that clicks and one that just falls apart. And it makes sense, right? Teams that have these emotionally intelligent norms just perform better, plain and simple. They fight less, they trust each other more, they make smarter decisions together, and, this is a big one, they aren't afraid to give and get the honest feedback they need to get better. And on a personal level, EI is like your own built-in stress shield. I mean, study after study shows a powerful link between high EI and lower stress. People with these skills are just better equipped to handle pressure, to regulate that feeling of anxiety, and to bounce back when things get tough. It's a personal shock absorber. So, we've seen how EI affects your daily performance, your leadership, your team. Now let's get to the bottom line. What's its role in your overall career path? Okay, this right here might be the most important takeaway of all. Think about it like this. Your IQ and your technical skills, that's what gets your foot in the door. That's what gets you hired. But your emotional intelligence, that's what gets you promoted. Study after study shows that EI is the stronger predictor of who actually rises through the ranks over the long haul. And here is the knockout punch. When it comes to leadership roles, EI isn't just a little more important. Its contribution to outstanding performance is nearly double that of IQ and technical skills combined. I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. Double. So, after hearing all this, you might be thinking, that's great, but what if I'm just not a naturally empathetic person? Well, this is where we get to the most optimistic, most empowering finding in all of this research. Because unlike your IQ, which stays pretty stable your whole life, your emotional intelligence is not set in stone. That's right, you can actually train your EI just like a muscle. Research confirms that focused, structured training leads to real, measurable improvements. And neuroscience even shows us that with repeated practice, you can physically reshape the neural pathways in your brain, the parts tied to empathy and impulse control. It is absolutely a learnable skill. Which, of course, leaves us with one last really crucial question. We've seen that this critical piece of success isn't something you're just born with. It's something you can build. So knowing that this skill can be learned, what's your first step going to be?